you. This meeting, which conforms with the provisions of the Open Public Meeting Act, Chapter 231, P.L. 1975, is a regular official city council meeting. Notices have been filed with our official newspaper, with the city clerk, and posted on the regular bulletin board. The public is permitted to participate where stipulated on the agenda.
Thank you, Madam Chair. For the record, Councilman Linius is present in his seat, open hearing the citizens pursuant to Article 4, Section 3 of the Rules of City Council. Each person wishing to address the council shall step up to the microphone, give his or her name in an audible tone for the record, and unless further time is granted by the presiding officer, shall limit remarks to 3 minutes. All members of the public are expected to conduct themselves in a proper manner. Any derogatory, abusive, or threatening statements will not be permitted. The chair will immediately rule such conduct out of order and terminate all further comments. Open hearing of citizens is now open.
Anyone wishing to address city council, please step up to the mic and state your name.
And sir, as you wait for the mic to come on, can you please record your name and address in the book, please, sir?
Okay. There's no pen. Okay. All right. Okay, it's good. Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is O'Brien Edwards. I reside here in East Orange. I am here to inquire as to the status of 112 North Walnut Avenue. It's a building that was recently...
I'm sorry, sir. Can you repeat the address you're referring to again?
112 North Walnut
Okay.
Avenue. It's a building that was recently rehabbed, open for tenancy. It's a 29-unit building. It has over 20 of its units occupied. But to my understanding, the building does not have a certificate of habitability.
A what, sir? I'm sorry.
Certificate of habitability.
I see.
Meaning the building doesn't have permission to be occupied. Yet the developer has had individuals there since the 15th of last month. Currently, garbage is being stored in the lobby. There are windows falling out of the frames of the new apartments. It has no superintendent, lobby's flooded, and tenants have no access to any services because the building doesn't have a certificate of habitability. And services such as internet, PSE&G, cable services, none of those are accessible to the tenants because the providers don't have permission to provide those services to the building since they don't have a certificate of habitability. So my questions are, how many existing violations exist on this building? What fines are being levied on the owner and what frequency? And what is the time frame for the resolution of these violations? And I'd also like to get a clarification as to what is the responsibility of the city versus that of the county for resolving these issues for the tenants in this building.
Okay, sir, I'll start off by telling you that all of your concerns will have to go through code enforcement, and we do have the code enforcement director here, so you can speak to him after the meeting, or if he chooses to speak to you before the meeting is over, I'm sure he'll take you outside and you can ask those questions.
We've been trying to address this for a couple weeks now.
Okay, well, that's what we're trying to do now. We're going to have you speak to the director of code enforcement and let him guide you accordingly.
Okay. There's a larger question, though, is why was someone able to have a building occupied when they have no certificate of habitability?
That's a question for you to talk to the director about.
I think this is a question for this council to really
It is
address.
not, sir. We have directors for each department, and respectfully, we want you to go through them. Now, if they tell you something that you can't verify, then you are welcome to come back to this body and address us again. But at least give him the opportunity to explain to you what the process is and what he can do to help you and answer some of your questions. At least do that.
I will do that.
Okay? Thank you. Director Mateen? Director Mateen? Can you make sure you speak to this gentleman? Is that you? Would that be you? Also, sir, I will tell you that your two council members are here. That is Councilman Alway and Councilman Monk. So after you speak with the Code Enforcement Director, you can also speak to them after the meeting is over, and then you can keep in touch with them so that they could address your concerns with Code Enforcement as well.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Is there anyone else wishing to address City Council? Hello.
My name is Sheridan McCrae, and I've been trying to reach out to the City Council. Hi, good day. My name is Sheridan McCrae.
Sir, ma'am, I'm going to ask you to make sure you sign the book as well, okay?
Okay.
All right.
I live at 29 Melmore Garden, and I've been having problems for the past almost couple of months. I've reached out to both of my city council person. One of them was in contact with me. The other one, he spoke to me once. I haven't gotten back. I saw him on the street. He just talked to the neighbor, and he went past. He passed.
Okay, ma'am, what are your concerns?
My concern is I have a neighbor that moved in next door, and it's been nothing more than torment. It's been going from bad to worse. So I reach out to everybody I can, and it's not getting solved. So I went to the person down on Market Street. That's the sheriff
Can I ask
office.
you guys to close the doors so that we can hear?
I went to the sheriff office, and they directed me to Trenton. I got answers from Trenton. They told me to show up at one of the meetings, which I'm very busy because I have a business. Also, I work. I'm a nurse. So I showed up today to find out what's going on. I
Ma'am,
reached out
did
to
you-
the mayor's office. I reached out. The police came out, and in
Okay.
front of the Lieutenant Harris, I think his name was, the guy threatened me and told me that this is how people die. And he's laughing. I have videos. I have so many videos. I have so many written information. And nobody reached out. So when I reached out to Trenton, they told me that I should come to the meetings, see what I get done, and then reach back out to them.
So what we're going to have you do is we're going to have you speak to Captain Johnson today. Captain Johnson, would you mind speaking to this young lady? Okay?
I think I spoke to her before.
Okay, well, we're going to have you speak to her today so she can give you some direction as to which way and what you should do next.
Yeah, but when you call the police, they're saying, where is your council person? We vote for these people.
Well, the
and you
police are
can't
not
get in
going to
touch
tell
with
you
them."
that, so.
Yes, they did. It's on the recording.
Okay.
And not only me, they told other neighbors that know that. We
Well,
have
the
it on, we
police-
have it taped.
The police have to police you, so that is their job. So that's why I want you to start with Captain Johnson and let her guide you. And then depending on, how your outcome is after that, you can come back to us and update us, but I can assure you that Captain Johnson is more than capable of dealing with your situation.
Thank you.
Okay, try her.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Ma'am, can you please make sure that you sign the book, please?
Also, I want to tell you that you have two council people here as well.
I reach
Okay.
out to them and have their numbers.
Okay,
They don't get
all right,
back
so
in
speak
touch
to
with
Captain,
me.
Captain Johnson and let her guide you. Thank you for bringing this to our attention. Is there anyone else wishing to address City Council?
Virginia Jeffries, 236 Brighton Avenue. Chairperson Lewis, good afternoon, City Council members, employees.
Good afternoon.
Is it on? Okay. Employees and members of the public in attendance physically and virtually. Presenting questions on the agenda under Business Development and Zoning. The resolution for an award of a non-fair and open contract for the law offices of Rosemary Moyano Matos as special legal counsel. One, what is the monetary award for this contract? And B, what is the cap on this contract? Under ordinances on first reading to be transferred from Business Development and Zoning to Law and Legislation, and ordinance amending the Eastern Scattered Site Redevelopment Plan, which of these properties are vacant land? Another ordinance on the City of East Orange for Heritage House Preservation, LP, for a financial agreement for a pilot program. One, are there currently any code violations? Two, what is the history of code violations for this property? C, when was the last time this property was fully inspected? D, is this an income-restricted rental property currently? And E, will this affordable housing component be for the life of the pilot, even if the property changes ownership? Another ordinance for Arlington Avenue Propco LLC for a 50-unit building. One, parking spaces are inadequate for this 50-unit building. Two, there will only be 46 parking spaces. The three, on-street parking is very limited as North Arlington Avenue for parking on only one side of the street. Four, tenants are being shortchanged. And five, on-street parking density will only increase on this very busy street. Under law and legislation on first reading, the same items that were transferred from business development. Heritage House Preservation. Again, the same questions. Are there currently any code violations? What is the history of code violations for this property? When was this last time this property was fully inspected? Is this an income-restricted rental property currently? And will the affordable housing component be for the life of the pilot, even if the property changes ownership? Also for, again, 150 North Arlington Avenue Propco LLC, parking spaces are inadequate for this 50-unit building. There will only be 46 parking spaces. On-street parking is very limited, as North Arlington Avenue is for parking on only one side of the street. Tenants are being shortchanged, and on-street parking density will only increase. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Jeffries. You raised some questions. We'll see if we can get you those answers. Is there anyone else wishing to address City Council? Justin, I'm getting ready to pull, I told him to show me where he would find, no, I sent Alway to talk to him, so ask Alway what he said. Thank you, Officer Spencer.
Sorry, my papers fell.
Brother Lamar?
Yes, ma'am. Did you get a chance to read it? Yes, ma'am. My comments from
For showing me this.
if you please look at my comments from 526, please.
Would you like for me to read it?
Yes, ma'am. Oh, no, well, I mean, for you, I don't know if you got a chance to read it or not yet. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, we saw it already. This is from our May 26th meeting.
Yes, ma'am.
Are you saying that, well, this will be recorded in our minutes?
Yes, ma'am. That was the note. That wasn't the actual comment. That was the note asking to please receive, please accept it. Because God was like on 26 at 207, and then so I would have to write the whole letter over, you know, with a little note at 234 and send it back to the email address. So I'm sorry, I misunderstand. That was the note asking to please accept the letter. Because remember, it said, see where it says, please accept the letter, listed below. See how that, so you have to remember that note saying, please accept the letter below.
Actually do not remember, but what I will do is I will have you speak to our staff who provides the minutes, and any corrections that you need, please advise her, and she will respectfully correct them. Okay? Okay, well, just let her know, you know, what is incorrect in here, and she'll correct it for you. All right. You're welcome. Yep. Yes, go right ahead. You want yours back? You want this back? Oh, okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate you also. Okay. All right, you ready? Okay. Ready? Okay. Yes. First, as always, first, giving honor to God and my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Please remember, God is a spirit and God is love, and Jesus taught us to love God and love our neighbor and to love one another. And since God is our Father, we're all brothers and sisters, and our young people are all our sons and daughters, and our young people are all God's children, our children. And I'm sorry, and our young people are all God's children, our children. And yes, please remember, now by the faith, hope, and love, and the greatest of these is love. And as always, please remember, I still believe that there is hope for our young people in East Orange. And as always, I'm asking and pleading and begging you all to remember all of our young people who passed away in East Orange, you know, it's since 1975. And I'm, you know, because I'm sorry to say that we have a long pattern here in East Orange that when a young person passes away, it gets a lot of attention at first, and then a little time passes, and the attention goes right back, you know, the attention goes down. And I hope and pray that God is laying on my spirit to try to raise awareness about our young people who passed away in East Orange, especially since 1975. And as always, I believe that we have to try to teach all of our young people to love God, to love their neighbor, to love themselves, and to love one another. And as always, I love and thank and super appreciate Sister Cynthia Brown and Brother Justin and my young sister, Samantha, and, you know, their staff. You know, I super appreciate you all. Love and thank and super appreciate you all. And I apologize for all of my mistakes. And I apologize about the misunderstanding that we just prayerfully straightened out or are going to straighten out prayerfully. And I apologize for all of my mistakes. And I take full responsibility for my comments. I'm sorry to say, but literally with my life. And please remember, here in East Orange, our people celebrate a lot of important dates, and I respect the important dates that we celebrate. The one of the dates, I'm sorry to say, I have a serious dilemma with, and that's July 4th, because please remember, July 4th was the anniversary of the Declaration of Independence, and I'm sorry to say, but please remember, the Declaration of Independence did not apply to African females, or African females, or the ancestors of, I personally don't think of 99% of our people here in East Orange. And to be honest, I did just see, I think last Friday, I did see that this year we do it on the 3rd. So, okay, I'm not exactly, well, at least, I am thankful that at least this time they didn't put on the banner about Independence Day, because it was not our independence, you know, but I'm sorry to say it, but indirectly it still is celebrating it, and I'm sorry to, you know, so I just had to, for my conscience sake, I just had to say that, please. And please remember, that slavery was still legal in the U.S. and New Jersey until the 13th Amendment was ratified on 12/6/1865. And as always, I'm asking, pleading, and begging you all to, at least this year, prayerfully to please, start again recognizing 12/6/1865. Right, because that's when slavery was legally abolished in the U.S. And as always, I'm not fighting with anybody. I'm fighting for all of our innocent African-American men, women, and children who are still in slavery up until 12/6/1865. And as always, thank you all so much for all of our people, especially our young people, because our young people are all God's children. And we ask these all need the blessings in Jesus' name for his sake. Amen. Thank you, Jesus.
Thank you, Brother Lamar.
Madam Chair, for the record, Councilwoman Garrett Ward is present and in her seat.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Is there anyone else wishing to address City Council? If so, please step up to the mic and state your name.
I'm sorry.
Seeing none, open hearings.
I was in the way. It was my fault. Okay.
Hi, I'm Priscilla Baskerville, and I'm at 377 South Harrison Street. I just wanted to thank City Council and whoever is responsible for putting stop signs on Elmwood and and South Harrison, I'm sorry. It's doing so much good. It makes it so much easier. Even the trucks are not having any trouble with it. So thank you all for whatever happened to get that done. I know it was a long time coming. I'm going to speak to you later about a couple of other things, but thank you. Just want to thank you. Bye.
You're welcome. Thank you. Third Ward Council, shout out to y'all for the stop signs.
I don't know how it got done. I don't know how it got done. I'm just happy.
Thank you, Ms. Baskerville.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone else wishing to address City Council? Seeing none, open hearing is now closed.
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman, Arts, Recreation, and Cultural Affairs, Councilwoman Garrett Ward.
Thank you. Give me a second. I have a resolution for memorial for Miss Emma Hudson Simmons. Thank you for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any questions, abstentions, or nays? That's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Business Development and Zoning, Councilwoman Holman.
Councilwoman
Deputy
Holman.
Clerk. I
just
got
for-
you.
Got
I
it.
got you. Thank you, Deputy Clerk. I have a resolution authorizing the execution of a redevelopment agreement between the City of East Orange and 38 Amherst.
Wait. This, actually, Councilwoman Holman, that's why I was trying to.
Oh, I
you know.
thought it was the other one you had an issue with
No, it was
the attorney.
No, this one that we requested more information and Director Cohen agreed that she would give us that. I'll share that
Oh,
with you.
okay, he had the wrong one. Okay, the deputy clerk gave me the wrong one. Okay,
Yeah, but I know, that one might be, you might be okay with that one too, with what you're getting ready to do. Oh, he already filled you in on the other one. The
The
one
attorney?
about the contract?
mm-hmm.
Okay, got it. Yeah, so we just removing that one for, the information that we requested.
38.
Yes.
Okay, so, I didn't get a second or anything on that yet, right? Okay, can you remove it? Remove your second, please. And I'm pulling my, my motion to put it on the floor. And that's going back to committee.
Thank you.
So for the record, Councilman Pullins, can we get you to remove your second, please, sir?
Yeah, he did, you didn't.
Thank you, sir.
I also have a resolution directing the East Orange Planning Board to review and report recommendations on a proposed amendment to the Transit Village District redevelopment plan. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? I also have a resolution on the City of East Orange and the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, authorizing the application to the local finance board with respect to not to exceed $250,000 redevelopment area bonds for 31-33 Washington Street redevelopment project pursuant to NJSA 40A:12A-29A3.
Madam Chair, ask for that to go to regular agenda, please.
Yes. Any other questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? I also have ordinance on first reading to be transferred to Business Development and Zoning, Law and Legislation. I have an ordinance on transfer of, ordinance amending the East Orange Scattered Sites redevelopment plan pursuant to local redevelopment and housing law.
Good catch,
Any-
Councilwoman.
Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
I also have to be transferred to Law and Legislation for first reading. Ordinance of the City of East Orange and the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, approving a long-term tax exemption and authorizing the execution of a financial agreement by and between the City of East Orange and Heritage House Preservation, LP, pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law. Any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
You want it on regular agenda? Deputy Clerk, if you could put that on regular agenda, please.
And that is for the,
Long-term tax exemption for the Heritage House.
okay, so just for the record, all ordinances are voted on
Oh,
individually.
they're already on the regular agenda, that's right. Did I get my vote? All in favor? I did get my vote. And I have another ordinance on first reading to be transferred to Law and Legislation, an ordinance of the City of East Orange and the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, approving a long-term tax exemption and authorizing execution of a financial agreement by and between the City of East Orange and 150 North Arlington Avenue, Propco LLC. Any questions? All those in favor? Aye. Any, you said you abstained. And that's all I have.
Thank you, Councilwoman Holman. Finance, Councilman Linius.
Good evening, colleagues. Good evening, those in attendance and those viewing. I have payroll number 11 in the amount of $4,522,384.38. All those in favor? Any abstentions? Any nays? I have bill approval and payment listing for 6/8/26.
Second.
All those in favor? Any abstentions? Any nays? I have resolution of the City of East Orange and the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, determining the form and other details of its note relating to the Water Bank Construction Financing Program of the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank, to be issued in a principal amount of up to $25 million, providing for the issuance and sale of such note to the New Jersey Infrastructure Bank, and authorizing execution and delivery of such note. All those in favor? Aye. Any abstentions? Any nays? Thank you, Madam Deputy
Excuse me.
Clerk.
Mr. Chairman,
Oh, yes.
I just have a quick question, and I haven't seen the beginning anywhere in committee, so I'm going to try this now. Where are we with the budget? Is it coming out? Where's it at? What's the issues? What's going on? We are now in the month of June without a budget, without any dialogue from the administration. What's going on?
Thank you so much for that question, Councilwoman Holman. I'd like to ask either CFO or the BA to please address that.
You're gonna need a mic. Well, okay.
Thank you, Council. So as far as where we are today with the budget, we are in talks with the state. We are going back and forth with letting them know where we stand. And I am working with the BA and the mayor, and hopefully we can get an update to you soon on getting the introduced budget.
Thank you, Director Camboa, but I need to hear from the business administrator because I feel as though that we're in the month of June, we haven't had any dialogue, and we should be doing this as a team. We're a team. We need to speak on this issue together. We need to know what's going on and what's happening in the state, what the responses are, why we're going to the state. I'm just looking for answers. I'm trying to do my due diligence, each and every one of us, all 10 members of this legislative body. We investigate, we legislate. 90% of our job is our fiduciary responsibility. For residents, I live on a block that happens to be housed with a lot of senior citizens. We cannot wait until almost the end of the year and hit them with a budget with taxes going up. And I hope that's not the road we're on.
Thank you, Council. I don't have really an update. As the CFO said, we are reviewing the budget. We're working through it. We had a meeting today. We have been transparent as far as providing where we are, the steps we've taken so far to scrutinize the budget. It is a very tough budget year, and we're working through it.
You're using the word transparent. I don't feel that way, and Madam Chair, please give me some leeway because I'm at my limit.
Take as much time as you need to.
Because you're using transparency. You're being transparent, but not with this legislative body, unless some of my other colleagues have gotten any information other than what I've received. That's not being transparent. We need to sit down together as a team and figure out, and I understand this is a tough budget year. I get it. And I've asked over and over and over again in each Finance Committee meeting that I've attended where we are. I think I've been asking for the budget since February. It is now June. We only got 6 months left, guys. We only got 6 months left. If we're going to be transparent, then let's really be transparent and let the legislators in on what's going on. Why are we not sitting down having a meeting with us in the administration? We have no clue what direction we're looking to go in. We have no clue what questions have been asked or answered. We did get something from you the other day, but to me, it did not tell me a lot. I don't know why we're asking what we're asking. I don't know what situation that we're in. I don't know what financial situation, if we have any problems, that we are currently in. And it's getting frustrating. It really is. We're a team. Let's operate as a team. And I don't know whether my colleagues have anything else to add, but I couldn't hold on to that no more. We need to do better, because it's not being transparent. I'm in the dark just as much as my residents are, and they vote me into office to find out what is going on and to act accordingly. We can't act if we don't know. We can't help if we don't know. We all have various backgrounds. No one's come. We may have different ideologies that we can bring to the table, but if you're not talking to us, we'll never get it solved. And I'll be doggone if I'm voting on any budget that's brought by this administration or the state coming in here in October. I will not sit here and vote for that. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
So let me help you out because I see you kind of lost for words, right? So right now, the only thing that council has been told is that the state, they have been communicating back and forth with the state. And that is, to my colleagues who are sitting here, that has been what has been reported to me, the vice chair, and the finance chair, which is, obviously, there's nothing else to tell at this point, to be totally transparent. So what we have to do is we have to wait until that communication, right, wrong, or indifferent. And no, we're not comfortable with it because, as my colleague said, we are in the dark, right? And until we get clarification, verification, or any other kind of communication from the state to come in and let us know what options we have if there is a discrepancy, that will be the only time, unfortunately, that we're going to know. So that is what we are waiting for. To be totally transparent, that's what we're waiting for. And if we don't hear from them by next week, if the conversation is not had and the meeting is not had, we're not going to know what to tell the public then. And that is our dilemma as council. So as soon and as much information as we get. We're gonna be totally transparent with you, but just know that we don't have it, and that's why we can't be transparent with you. And that is the most honest answer that I can give, not just you sitting here, but the entire city of EO. We are not holding back any information from any of you. We just don't know. And the only thing that is being told to myself as I sit here as chair is that ultimately that meeting and that continuing conversation that will hopefully get us to a point where we will have a definite answer, that is the only time we're going to know. So please bear with us, because we are just, as taxpayers, we are just as concerned as you are, believe me. So again, please be patient with us.
I'm sorry. So are we doing a budget, or is the state doing the budget for us?
And
We're just-
Just putting it out
Councilwoman, they don't have an answer for that either. So we can sit here and we can, go back and forth on that issue, but that's the truth, that is the truth. We don't have any communication that we could report. They can't report anything to us because they don't know.
We
No,
are
no,
doing the budget.
I disagree, because the reporting could have been done a long time ago, months ago, when they were trying to construct the budget.
Not if you don't have the answers to a lot of questions. And we could talk about that in committee, because we're going in executive committee, and we could talk about that in that session.
I did it, and no disrespect, Madam Chair, but we've been in the dark enough, and I think the public's been in the dark enough. So I think this is the perfect opportunity for us to talk about this right now.
And Councilwoman, but understand, respectfully, the verbiage is not going to change. I mean, and that's what I don't want to do. I don't want us to sit here and try and go back and forth. Yes, we're frustrated, and they know that. That is the only thing that we could bring home is frustration, because we do not know where we're going to land with this budget. I certainly don't know, and nobody has told me. So that just goes to show you they don't know, right? And they will not know until they get a definite direction.
I understand what you're
Yeah.
telling me, but we knew we were in this situation months ago. And my point is, it should have been brought to this legislative body months ago. That's what I'm trying to
Well, I think that
explain.
they have been saying that in finance for a very long time, if my colleagues know that that is honest, right? That they don't know. So every member of finance that's sitting here at the finance committee, you guys have gotten frustrated, and so have I, because we haven't gotten any answers. And as we sit here today, respectfully, to your point, Councilwoman, we still don't. So all I'm saying is, we can continue to talk about this for the rest of the evening, and unfortunately, we will still end up saying, we don't know.
Ridiculous.
It is. So, but that is the most honest answer I could sit here comfortably and give all of you. And believe me, when we do, whether it's one answer or two answers, we will definitely be sharing that. Because again, we share that frustration. Councilman Howard, I'm sorry, but wait a second. Councilwoman Holman, are you finished?
done. I'm done.
Okay. Councilman Howard?
Thank you for that, Madam Chair, and I appreciate, you bringing that forward and us having the discussion. I just wanted to say this one thing on the record for my colleagues in the administration. I think the one part, besides the struggle and frustration, and everyone knows how I can be when I'm frustrated, and I've voiced that very robustly in our meetings. When the mentioning of the state is where I take a little bit of an issue. Before there was a conversation with the state, I would have really wished that there was a discussion with the legislative body before we talked to the state. My colleague, and she's our elder stateswoman on here, she's been here the longest, and we talk about the roles that we have as elected, representatives for our wards, our respective wards. And we have the saying that we always say, appropriate, legislate, investigate. Appropriate is the biggest thing. We're literally taken out of our role. And I think that's where the trouble that I'm having with it, that there's conversations with the state that, now that we're becoming aware of, and some of those specifics of the conversation, when we haven't even had the opportunity to do our job. It's quite possible if we would have been tagged in that we might not even have been able to get to that point. We've been doing this for some years now, where we've been able to present to the public very fiscally sound, responsible budgets in consideration of what's happening, in the economy and so on and so forth. We're pretty good at it. We're pretty good at this, right? So I think that's the part. I just want to put that on the record, and that if anything else, we know it's a troubling budget, but to have the conversations with the state without us, and unbeknownst to us, at least initially, that's the part that's kind of like so I just wanted to put that on the record since we're having that conversation.
If I may, Chair?
Understood, absolutely.
From my understanding, there's a 4 o'clock meeting Thursday with the legislative body. I'm not sure who's invited. Also, we have a draft budget that we've been working with, and the AFS has been published and finished. So we've been working on the back and trying to get you guys a budget. In the Finance Committee, I believe we tried to share information that we have, not only most recently, but throughout the whole process, that we try to make sure whatever information we have, you guys have it. We tried our best to get that information to you.
Finance Chair, you want to weigh in on this?
I agree with my colleagues. We do have some information, but not enough. And I think it's not I guess the information piece is a little troubling, but that's okay. I think it was just in initiating and the conversation with the state without at least speaking to us. I think that's the aspect the hump that we can't get over, is that part. Because essentially, I think we all know where the road is going once the state is involved. As someone once said recently, they have a sword, and when they use their sword, people get cut. And our responsibility as legislators, investigators, and appropriators, I feel like it's gonna be taken out of our hands. So that's where it looks like it's heading, in my opinion. I don't know that for sure, but we'll see what happens.
Thank you. Anyone else want to comment?
Thank you.
Deputy Clerk?
Thank you, Madam Chairwoman. Health and Education, Councilman Monk.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Good evening, residents and people tuning in from home. Colleagues, I have a resolution to adapt and implement a Title VI plan and directing the corporation, thank you, sir, corporation of Title VI non-discrimination requirements into city code, policies, procedures, and operations. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Any abstentions or nays? None. Deputy Clerk, that concludes Health and Education. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Monk. Housing, Licensing, and Inspection, Councilwoman Fauntleroy.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. I have no legislation at this time.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Planning and Grants, Councilman Awe.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Nothing tonight.
Thank you, sir. Public Safety, Councilman James. In the absence of Councilman James, we have Councilman Lenius.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. I have a resolution to adopt the City of East Orange procedures for administration. And yeah, I was going to. Oh, I'm sorry. I apologize. I started reading Public Works. Public Safety, no resolution at this time.
Thank you, Councilman. Public Works, Councilman Gomez.
Go New York, go New York. Public Works, I have a resolution to adopt the City of East Orange's procedures for administration and inspection. Thank you. Of federal aid for highway projects. Thank you for the second. Any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Next, I have an ordinance on first reading to be transferred from Public Works to Law and Legislation. Thank you, sir. An ordinance amending and supplementing Article 2, Chapter 260-9 of the City Code entitled Stop Intersections to provide for the creation of stop signs. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? You have a question?
Comment and question, yeah. But
All right.
I'm good on this. I was going to
Yes.
say it might be a good time and fit in since we're in committee. One of the reoccurring questions that we have to answer, and thank Ms. Baskerville for the shout out to the Third Ward members, but maybe if Director can lay out what the process is for getting a stop sign. I think our residents don't understand how drawn out a process it is.
Okay.
And that it's not as simple as we want a stop sign here, go put it there. Right? So,
You like her to do that on microphone now?
no, it's your committee, sir. So, yeah.
Hold on a second.
Good afternoon, everyone. So with stop signs, there's a traffic study, and it consists of looking up the history of accidents at the intersection, speeding violations and things of that nature. Then a field traffic study is done, and then stop signs then are installed after it's passed through legislation.
So, and our director, she's so good at it, she made it sound very simple. But it's the survey, right, the study, which sometimes is several studies. That study takes some time, right? At that point, it's figured out that, okay, this is a good place for a stop sign. It then has to go through legislation, so it has to go through the committee process. Could be a few weeks to a month or longer.
Yes, sir.
Right? First vote, second vote. Then at that point, right, then you can actually acquire the stop sign. Stop signs aren't free, right? So we have to appropriate the monies for the stop sign. It has to be acquired and then installed, which also takes time. So the reason why I see it fit, and we get that question all the time. And
You want to
set
set proper expectations.
Exactly. Oftentimes, people are frustrated and not knowing that the process can literally take years for some intersections sometimes. So I just wanted to lay that out to the residents that's watching at home, some of the residents that's here, for us to spread the word. And I think that's why Ms. Baskerville was so happy to finally get a stop sign on Harrison. Thank you.
And thank you for asking that question, because sometimes it is best when someone outside of the committee or one of my colleagues asks the question that typically we get from a constituents to add clarity, because it does help when folks understand, and also understand that every request does not end in an affirmative. There's traffic patterns that have to be considered, and if it impacts the traffic pattern, we may have to look at some other alternatives rather than just a stop sign. So thank you so much for that. I believe my colleague, Councilman Lenius, you have a comment as well?
Yes, actually. Thank you so much, Public Works Chair Gomez. I just want to say thank you, actually, to Director Collins and also you, Chairman Gomez, because through your committee and through Director Collins and the DPW team, this was able to occur. It started with the advocacy of the residents of 377 South Harrison, who approached Councilman Pullins and I and the mayor, and so then we turnkeyed that and advocated and brought it to the committee. And it was a long list of things that we had issues with on South Harrison and that corridor especially. And they installed hidden driveway signs. They installed the technology, the flashing lights so people can cross. They did the speed tables. So all of that took time, and to Councilman Iway's point, funding need was necessary for it as well. And so I just want to say thank you, Director Collins, thank you to the Public Works Committee and Chair, Councilman Gomez, to 377 and all those advocates. We truly appreciate all of it, and I'm happy because now it's, people have to get used to it, I guess, because they're just so used to just speeding through. But over time, people will be trained to drive properly over there and to be careful, because we have a lot of elderly and children that walk across those crosswalks. The park is right there. 377 is right there. So, thank you. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That really does mean a lot. And Madam Chair, at the time, during finance, I didn't have words, but if I may add a couple of words, it's not specific to the budget because I'm not on that committee, but it kind of speaks to, I don't want to say frustration because that word has been used and that word is appropriate, but the anxiety that folks are feeling in terms of this process. And I believe that we're the only government in New Jersey that works with a really strong council in tandem with the mayor. And this form of government has been successful because of the hand-in-hand teamwork. Historically, the hand-in-hand teamwork between the legislature and the executive branch. And people are anxious, not because they want to, take shots or do any grandstanding. They want to continue that legacy of being able to serve their community. And I think that's what we're feeling right now. I think that's what is making us anxious. But I'm not sure what's going on with the budget. And because I don't know the specificity of what's going on with the budget in terms of the state involvement or what have you, I'm going to just trust the process right now, which is difficult for a control freak like me to do. But I will say this, that whatever, we're faced with, we're going to figure it out, right? And that's what I want to share, not with my constituents, but with my friends and neighbors. There's already enough anxiety placed on communities like ours by the federal government, and I think the reason we're in this condition, some of it does play into the things that are being done in Washington, D.C., to make things even more difficult for us, to make it seem like we are not in control and we cannot lead. And I think that's the last image that we want to convey to the public or to anybody else. That's not an image that I want for myself, for my children, my grandchildren, my great-grands. I don't want that written down in history, because we happen to be living in a bleep of time where we have someone who just does not care about other people and just cares about himself and does not really, truly believe in the oath of office that he took to take care of his people. And he's making decisions that just make things really stressful for folks. So wherever this thing lies, I know I'm going to give my 100% to make sure that it's resolved. I'm not going to look backwards and point fingers. I may do that after we get over it, because I hold grudges, but we're going to get through it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman.
Thank you, Councilman Gomez. Law and Legislation, Councilman Pullins.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, East Orange, Madam Chair. I have a resolution confirming the mayor's reappointment of Aziza McGill. Thank you, sir, to the Cannabis Board for a 4-year period. All those in favor? Any
Aye.
opposed? I also have a resolution confirming the mayor's appointment of Justin Motley as a board member to the Cannabis Board for a term of 4 years. Thank you, sir. Are there any questions?
Chairman, I have a question.
Yes.
I believe we were supposed to be staggering some of the members, no?
That's correct. First Corporation Counsel Simmons addressed this matter, but if there are any questions that you all may have, I'm sure Ron and and Charles are more than happy to answer the questions.
Okay. So the question is, I guess, for the new members, aren't we supposed to, I'm sorry, especially for the new member,
Well,
are we supposed to stagger?
I might be able to, I don't know, you can tell me, Counselor, if, I think they spoke to us and said because all the terms expired this time, that they were going to have to do it all this time, but then going forward, they'll be staggered? You might,
Corporation Counsel is going to.
I understand for the reappointments, but there's a new person being appointed, so.
Councilman Lenny, so right now what you'll see are 3 resolutions. The council will have 1 appointment, the mayor will have 2. That will represent Class A once the new ordinance goes through the legislative process. The remaining appointments will be one for the mayor, one for the council. That will represent a Class B appointment. So right now, of the 5 members, you have 3 resolution appointments on your council floor right now. So it will ultimately be staggered. So we have to do the first class now, and subsequently we'll do the remaining 2 to complete the stagger.
And when are the remaining 2 terms up?
Well, technically everyone's term is up, but they're in a holdover status. But there is one person, one of the mayor's appointments, that's a new appointment. So that will get you 5 people on the board.
Oh, okay, understood.
Thank you, Mr. Simmons. Is there any other questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you. Deputy Clerk, I have a resolution confirming the City Council's reappointment of Philip Reed to the to the Board of Cannabis Control for a period of 4 years. Thank you, Councilman Gomez. Are there any questions, colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Colleagues, for resolutions dealing with settlement of workers' comp litigation claims, I'm going to ask Deputy Clerk that we have I'm going to put a motion on the floor that we adjourn to executive session for these matters, for contract matters, legal matters, and negotiations. Roll call, Deputy Clerk.
Thank you, Councilman Pullins. Councilman Pullins?
Yes.
Councilman Monk?
Yes.
Councilman Linius?
Yes.
Councilman Gomez?
Yes.
Councilwoman Fauntleroy? Councilwoman Holman? Councilwoman Garrett Ward?
Yes.
Councilman Awe?
It's going to be a quick one, right? Yes.
Depends on who asks questions.
And Madam Chair Lewis?
Yes.
All right.
Thank you, Deputy Clerk. Deputy Clerk, I have ordinance on first reading, transferred from Business Development and Zoning to Law and Legislation. I have an ordinance amending the East Orange Scatter Sites Redevelopment Plan pursuant to the Local Redevelopment and Housing Law, NJSA 40:12A-1 EDSEC. Thank you for the second, Councilman. Any questions, colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, Deputy Clerk, I have an ordinance on first reading, transferred from Business Development and Zoning. I have an ordinance of the City of East Orange in the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, approving a long-term tax exemption and authorizing the execution of a financial agreement by and between the City of East Orange and Heritage House Preservation LP pursuant to long-term tax exemption law, NJSA 40A-20-1 EDSEC. In a second? Second. Thank you, sir. Any questions, colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Deputy Clerk, I have an ordinance on first reading, an ordinance authorizing a financial agreement between the City of East Orange and 150 North Arlington Propco LLC, an ordinance of the City of East Orange in the County of Essex, State of New Jersey, approving a long-term tax exemption and authorizing the execution of a financial agreement by and between the City of East Orange and 150 North Arlington Avenue Propco LLC pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law, NJSA 40A-20-1 EDSEC. Can I get a second? Second. Thank you, sir. All those, are there any questions from colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, one exception. This will also be on the regular agenda. Deputy Clerk? Yeah.
Discussed 38 Amherst, and we're going to.
No, I took it off. I never even presented it.
Oh, he said it.
No, I.
So for the record, Councilwoman Holman put that ordinance back to committee.
Put it back in the committee, so it was never presented for an ordinance. No, sir, I skipped it.
No, he skipped over that
Is there any other questions? All right. Deputy Clerk? Councilman Gomez was an extension.
Noted, duly noted.
All right, very good. Ready? Okay, here we go. Ordinance is on first reading, transfer from Public Works to Law and Legislation. Ordinance amending and
Second.
supplementing Article 2, Chapter 260-9 of the City Code entitled Stop in a Course to provide for the creation of stop signs. Thank you, Councilman Monk. Questions, colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Deputy Clerk, I have ordinance on second and final reading, ordinance number 17 of 2026, ordinance of the City of East Orange, amending ordinance number 5 of 2026, authorizing the transfer of certain city-owned property.
Second.
Thank you, gentlemen. Said property, commonly known as 229 North Munn Avenue, East Orange, New Jersey, and referred to as Block 271.01, Lot 19.05, on the East Orange City official tax map pursuant to NJSA 40:11A-22B. Are there any questions, colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? And Deputy Clerk, ordinance on second and final reading, ordinance number 18 of 2026, an ordinance amending and supplementing Chapter 218 of the Municipal Code of the City of East Orange entitled Rental Control Conversions. Thank you, Councilman Gomez. Any questions, colleagues?
I think I've asked this question in first read. Just want to verify again. So the changes to orders number 18, it was with the fines, right? That was it? Fees. Excuse me, not the fines, the fees. And that was it. Okay.
Can you speak into the mic,
I'm
Councilman,
sorry. I just
please?
wanted to verify. I think I asked it last time on first reading, but I just wanted to verify again. In terms of the changes, I read through as well. I just wanted to make sure my eyes weren't playing tricks on me. But the only changes were the fees, to update the fee schedule.
Correct.
Yes. Okay.
Correct. Any questions, any other colleagues? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, an ordinance on second and final reading, ordinance number 19 of 2026, an ordinance amending and supplementing
Second.
Chapter 159 of the City Code entitled Housing Standards, Property Maintenance. Thank you for the second. Any questions, colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Deputy Clerk, that pauses law and legislation until Madam Chair asks us to return to go to executive session.
Thank you, Councilman
No,
Pullins.
no apologies necessary, Councilman Gomez.
Thank you, Councilman Pullins.
Can we go into executive session now?
Yes, ma'am, Madam Clerk. Madam Chair, excuse me.
15 minutes to game time, 15 minutes. "13 minutes to game time, 13 minutes to game time."
Deputy Clerk, roll call.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Madam Chair. Game time. Yes.
Yes, indeed. Thank you, Madam Chair. Returning back from executive session. Councilman Pullins? Here. Councilman Monk?
Here.
Councilman Linius? Here. Councilman Gomez?
Present.
Councilwoman Fauntleroy? Councilwoman Holman? Councilwoman Garrett Ward?
Present.
Councilman Awe? Madam Chair, Lewis.
Here.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Deputy Clerk, I have a resolution authorizing the settlement of workers' compensation litigation. Any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Deputy Clerk, I have another resolution authorizing settlement of workers' compensation litigation. Thank you. Ladies, any questions? All those in favor?
Aye.
And Deputy Clerk, I have resolution number 3, authorizing settlement of workers' compensation litigation matter.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions, colleagues? Seeing none, all those in favor? Aye. And the last, I have a resolution authorizing settlement of litigation in the matter of Amanda
Second.
Quinchette versus City of East Orange et al. Thank you. Any questions? All those in favor? Any opposed? Deputy Clerk, that concludes law and legislation.
Thank you, Councilman Pullins, and that concludes the items on the committee agenda, Madam Chair.
Thank you. If there is no further business, I'll entertain a motion to
So
adjourn.
moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned.